Hi and welcome. I am excited to share with you Dennis and Elena from Twinbox.ia. They are here to join me on a live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Welcome to the show. I was telling people over on LinkedIn and on YouTube all about the exciting things that you're going to be sharing with us as far as Twinbox goes, because it's such a phenomenal tool for people who are have a lot of content or are hosting a podcast and they're trying to monetize it. And so I'm really excited to hear you talk about all of the bits and pieces. So welcome, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Excited to be here. We are two co-founders at Twinbox. My name is Dennis. Alona is with us. We are actually a married couple. They say that it is really difficult to run a business when you're married, but we are somehow managing that. We have kind of very long history working in tech and tech startups. And about a year ago, less, we decided to start our own venture. We called it Twinbox, and basically we help podcast super fans learn more about their favorite experts, and we help experts to monetize their super fans, to sell them their premium content and services through contextual AI conversations. So that's what we do at Twinbox, and we love it.
That is awesome. So when you're talking about superfans, what kind of platforms are you mainly using this application for?
Right. When we're talking about superfans, probably it's a good time to talk about our ICP, our ideal customer, right? So that we can really understand who this solution is for. And for me, it is really important to be very specific about our ideal customer, since we really want them to get value from Twinbox. And for us, the ideal customer is a podcaster, actually even an expert with the podcasts that is used as a kind of marketing funnel to bring more customers to their premium services and programs. So let's say you are a wellness coach and you have a new podcast, you have 20 episodes, and you have a website where you store maybe your blog post, or maybe you have a newsletter. Maybe you have some premium program for your members. So you want to attract your customers to your website so that you can upsell your premium there. And Twinbox is basically a really good hook for your fans to have a reason to come there, have a reason to, spend some time on your website, ask any questions about your content, get instant answers. And meanwhile, we upsell your premium to your super fans who are right now interacting with Twinbox on your website, suggesting them something relevant from your programs or services or whatever, paid things you have.
And I guess I should also mention that we work mostly with experts who have more educational content, not, for example, news or some entertainment shows, just because the listeners who consume educational content, they are more opt to return to it, to search for answers, to ask different questions. They want to learn more and to get more information. That's where this communication starts happening. So
explain to me, because I'm a little fuzzy on how do so let me back up a little bit, because my understanding of how podcasting works is that people will come in, they'll find you maybe on Apple or on Spotify. And from there, how do you get them to your website?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And we are helping a lot our existing clients with that, since, first of all, they have to know that there is such a thing like Twinbox, right? They have to understand the value they can get from Twinbox, and they have to know where to find it. So most of our existing clients, they use their newsletters and pre-rolls to attract more eyeballs to their websites and explain what is Twinbox and how to find it. So basically, you are a listener, you're listening some podcast episodes, and there our hosts, they mentioned that, if you have a question about where did I talk about X, or if you would like to, get a quick summary of these episodes before you listen to it, you can come to our website. You can find this search bar of Twinbox widget there and ask any question, and it will answer you like I would if you are talking to me directly.
Even better, really, because it's able to go through so much content so quickly, and it can give you a whole transcript of whatever podcast episode you're looking at, which was really impressive to me. When I saw that, it was just like, oh yeah, I've got to bring these people on because that's so cool. Does the content have to be on the website in order for Twinbox to work? Like, do they have to post all of their episodes on their website so that Twinbox can find it? Or can it go out to ancillary places and scrape that information from there?
Yeah, the content doesn't have to be on the website. So we basically work with different platforms. We can get the content from different platforms, whether it's Apple Podcasts or it's YouTube or it's RSS feeds. So we do all the transcriptions, and we import then these text versions of the content into the Twinbox knowledge base. And it's not only about the podcasts. We can do the same with blog articles or newsletters or any promotional even information that you do have on your website. So we can work with this data as well.
So somebody doesn't necessarily have to have a podcast. Maybe they have like a YouTube channel that's really got tons of content on it. Can you pull from there also?
Yes, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, like the reason why we focus on podcasters, like folks who have a podcast, is that it is, the whole idea of Twinbox, it appears when one of our mentors at that moment, more than, it's a year ago, a bit more. He's a pretty successful podcaster. He is an expert. He helps founders to start their venture. And he once mentioned that he is experiencing like lots of issues with answering repetitive questions to his listeners, like when they are asking him, like, could you help us to find the episodes about that topic? And he got no idea where did he talk about that, right? Like he has more than 300 episodes, and there is no quick way for him to search through these whole, piles of episodes, and he needed something that would help him with that. So it was our, building block in understanding this whole issue. First, podcasters and experts, they have to help their audience to get value and then upsell to them. So that was the moment when we decided that, okay, we will first focus on those who have podcasts, but then during our iterations, when we were optimizing our product, we figured out that, like, in reality, we do not need a podcast to create your knowledge base, right? Like, we can work with any type of content you have, whether you are a successful, newsletter owner. Maybe you have, thousands of subscribers to your newsletter and you didn't yet start working on your podcast. We can also aggregate all these pieces of your newsletter, and it will be your knowledge base. We will use it to generate answers to your users and help you upsell.
Oh, I just thought of something that might help you, but have you heard of School
That's how it
yet?
works.
Have you heard of the platform School? SKOOL?
Yep.
Okay, and you know how Hormozi's gotten behind it, and Evans he's the founder of it, and how it's really kind of growing, and their whole goal is to get people to put a lot of content on there. And while they do have a good mechanism for gamifying the platform, which is their goal, to get people to interact, and they have a really good communication, but people are trying to get people to get into memberships over there. And for that, you almost have to have a separate website and funnel. Right. So I think that might be, there's some of those people over there that are really working hard to build some huge communities over there. That might be a place for you to look also.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot for this suggestion. And an interesting thing is that we are already working with several clients who have the premium program, and they are using Twinbox as a tool to retain their existing premium members. So let's say you already subscribed to a program that, I don't know, helps you to get better sleep, for example, right? And there are tons of sections within this program, and it is really difficult for you to jump across all this stuff. Like it is, like people are often stuck somewhere in that program, and they need some kind of a helper, right? In this case, AI helper that will unblock them and will make the whole experience smoother. So that's where Twinbox could also help. So it is not specifically for generic public that comes to your website. It can be used as any type of, assistance that might help those who use your content to do it just more efficiently and quickly.
Yeah, my brain is just like clicking. So how long has this been out?
I don't know. When did we launch? I guess it was the beginning of the year, right?
In February. Yeah, since February.
Yeah, we got our first paying customer in February. We've been running lots of tests before that. And in February, we decided that, okay, we're ready to go live. And we had a pretty long line of people in our wait list. And we decided to do it in on a cohort base, since mostly we were interested, and we're still interested in getting enough feedback from our customers, right? Since we definitely have a long way before us, we are optimizing all the time. We're, making constant improvements, since the technology that is that powers our solution is obviously generative AI. It is still, lots of things are getting clarified on our way. So we started in February, and now we are growing with a really good month-over-month rates.
That's awesome. Would you like to try to do a demonstration?
Absolutely.
Okay, so do you have present options on your screen? Okay.
Yes.
So if you want to click the present, and you can do, you can share your screen and do a demonstration of how it works. Would that work for you?
Sure.
Okay.
Give me a second. First time on this platform. Okay. Share screen.
I'm not entirely okay.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
I can see your screen.
I do.
Cool.
Yeah.
So this is the admin panel or the dashboard of one of our clients. So I will just quickly explain what you see here right now. You see the knowledge base of Twinbox. Basically, all the content that the client wanted to upload into their knowledge base. Right now here she has all her podcasts transcribed, as well as I think she has a book here, some chapters from the book, as well as a few blog articles. So what happens next is she integrated a small widget into her website. That's her website, and you can see this bar at the bottom of the screen. This is the Twinbox widget. So right now, her listeners or her readers or her clients, whenever they come to the website, they are able to get here and ask her any questions. She is able to predefine some popular questions, like, for instance, she often gets questions emailed to her about different mistakes in speaking, because she's a speaking coach, so different things about this topic. So she already knows what people ask, and she defines it as popular questions. But you are also able to ask anything that comes to your mind, like the custom question that you want to learn from this podcaster. So if you do ask a question, then we do search through all the knowledge base that she has uploaded into the Twinbox, and we provide the best answer and with the resources to dive deeper into this topic. And meanwhile, you can see what happens here is she had a few upsells set up. So when people start asking questions, she directs them to the relevant materials that she has. Like, for example, right here, after this answer, she is offering a book about fear of speaking. She offers to book a call to provide one-on-one session to get over this fear.
Can I ask a question at this point? Does the AI actually decide what is the best upsell, or is this predetermined before?
Yeah, that's also a really good one. So first, our first iteration with upsells. Alena, could you please mute? Thank you. Yeah, I was saying that our first iteration of upsells was pretty straightforward. So the podcasters were able to create upsells like, advertisements in their dashboards and decide when they are going to show these ads to their listeners who are talking to their Twinbox. But right now we are releasing the next version that will be intelligently understands what the user is interested in within this conversation. So we are analyzing the questions from that users, and then we are also scanning the premium base of that client, understanding whether there is anything in their premium content that can be suggested to that listener at this very moment that is very relevant to this very topic they're talking about, right? So if, for example, again, my sample with the wellness coach, if there is your fan who came to your website and asks about like, how can I sleep better? And there is premium program to, improve your sleep. But then we will generate this upsell on the fly and show it to the listener so that to catch them at this very moments of their top interest about this topic. So the conversion rate in this case is dramatically high, and we want to make it not so frustrating to the fans to see these, repetitive ads again and again, like you see it in Google or other platforms.
It looks like it doesn't look like an ad. Let me put it that way. It just looks like it's part of the content, and it makes perfect sense in relation to the information that you've just delivered. So in that way, I think it's really nice.
Right. Yeah.
And do you tailor the colors to the website, or do you?
Yeah, we provide a lot of customization options so that the widget will be able to match your brand, basically.
Yeah, that was the question I was asking.
Yeah,
thank you for catching it.
The other very, useful thing is that you are actually able to view all the conversations that happened with your digital twin, review the questions and the answers that were provided. And in this way, you can keep track of two things. The first is what's on the mind of your fans, of your listeners, of your readers, what they are interested in, so that you could strategize about your next steps, what you have to come up with in terms of content. And the second thing is you can check what your digital twin answers, so that you are sure that all the answers are correct. And in case you don't like some information that is provided to your listeners, you are quickly able to correct it and upload the correct information.
Oh, I love that. Are you able to capture emails or names, or is this all anonymous?
So just yesterday, we released the feature where your fans and listeners will be able to sign up and subscribe to your updates. So, for instance, let's say you are interested in one of the topics that Linda usually speaks about. So you are able to subscribe to notifications to get updates when she has new content about this topic exactly. So in this way, you don't get spammed and you get only notifications on things that really interest you. And at the same time, we ask you to leave your email. So in this way, you become kind of a lead for the podcaster as well.
Right. But it also helps the podcaster or whoever the content creator is tailor their content more towards the questions that they're being asked more frequently, and then decide how their content's going to be. It's more consumer based content driven rather than whatever they feel like talking about.
Right.
It
Yeah,
gives them
yeah.
a lot of information.
And when we've been designing this tool, we also did tons of interviews with podcast listeners, since we really wanted to understand whether they will use it, right? I mean, it's without them using Twinbox, it doesn't make any sense for podcasters, since there will be nobody to upsell to. So one of the things they wanted to be able to do is to get this hyper personalized approach, since, for example, I'm subscribed to, I don't know, maybe several dozens of podcasters, and I'm just not able to review all of their podcasts since there's so much information. So the fans, they want to be able to tackle those specific topics in each of the contents of their favorite podcasters that is really relevant to what they're interested in right now. So, for example, I as a startup founder right now, maybe I'm interested in improving the onboarding process of my new users, right? And I want only this thing to consume during next week. So this is a way for me to avoid distractions and irrelevant content and be subscribed only to the things that matters.
Yeah, I love that. And it's just, podcasting is becoming like blogging was maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, where people were putting out a lot of content. And with a website, there was the search bar, and so it was a little bit easier. But with podcasts, you can't just like scan it. Even if you've got transcripts, it's really difficult to just,
or even if it is a summary, it is still, you have to spend some time to understand whether there is something in this episode that you want to listen about, and you don't want to spend an hour just for the sake of listening to something. You should be really sure that it is worth it.
Right. And I really think this has a lot of application over on videos as well. The long content videos out there that show you how to do things. And, there's YouTube is like full of information, and you can subscribe to certain channels where you're really interested, not just in being entertained, but being educated, and having this kind of a tool to just go through. Some of those channels have massive amounts of content over there, and to be able to go through that content and find what specifically you're looking for the answer to, it's like priceless to me.
Yep, exactly. Agree with everything.
So how do people find you, and how do they work with you? How does all that work?
Yeah, so basically the Twinbox is by its nature very viral, right? I mean, podcasters, they put it in their newsletters. Other podcasters see these newsletters. They, get to know about it. They come to us. Plus, we do just founder-led outreach in LinkedIn mainly, since the main platform we're kinds of a watering hole for our ICP is LinkedIn. They love it. They use it extensively. So we are connecting with them there. We try to explain the value on the fly. Obviously, we are super interested in jumping on calls with them, since that's where the magic happens. Since, as I mentioned at the beginning of this conversation, we are very honest about whether it will work for you or not, since we do not want you to use something, and especially to pay for something that won't work. So we are trying to understand together with our prospects, like whether it is for them or not. And then from time to time we are offering like some special promotions, like X% off during X months or whatever. That's our approach. And we're still growing. We're still very young, and happy to talk with anyone who is interested to learn more.
I think this is really cutting edge, and I really appreciate you coming on and sharing what you've got going on. And I can see big things for this. It's really, you're right at the very beginning stages of reaching people that it's going to just help so many people. And speaking of helping so many people, I thought that I saw somewhere along the line that you actually help podcasters or people that become your clients make it so that this really does help them, rather than just like, put it on your website and good luck with that.
Yeah, that's actually really important, since there are like so many people who are doing AI for the sake of AI, just because it is hype. It's so cool to have something AI-ish in your business. And given that we are ourselves like technical guys, we know that AI is not a silver bullet at all. Often it makes things worse, and you should be very laser focused about like, why do you need it. So with our solution, we try to make it useful, and just understanding the core issues like monetization, understanding customers, understanding listeners better. That's what helps us to focus our efforts and prioritize those features that really deliver some value to our users.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. How do people get in touch with you if they want to reach out?
Yeah, absolutely. We're super responsive in LinkedIn. Probably you can somehow put our LinkedIn profiles, I don't know, in the comments or whatever. Yeah. And Twinbox.ai, that's our website, easy to find. So like, either email us or drop us a message in LinkedIn, and we will be super happy to talk.
Awesome. Thanks again so much for joining me.
Thanks a lot, Jill, for inviting me. We're excited.